Hi y'all, it's your girl Gabby G. Ew, ew. Hi. So, I'm here to talk to my real estate agents or real estate agents in training or future real estate agents, people who are considering coming into the field of real estate. Oh yeah, we gotta make it sound all nice and fancy. If you're considering coming into the field of real estate, darling, this is the video for you. So we're gonna have to tackle things little by little because there's so many aspects and so many things that go into becoming a real estate agent. I do have a video on just the basic stuff in terms of hours and exams and things like that we have to do. But right now we're going to talk about brokerage, how you should choose a brokerage or what you should consider when you're choosing your brokerage. So yeah, let's get into that. First things first, you are not considered a licensed real estate agent unless you hang your license somewhere. So at a brokerage, not just somewhere. Don't just hang it on your wall at home, okay, people? It's gotta be at a brokerage, okay? So, but until you hang your license somewhere, you are not considered an actual licensed real estate agent. You could have passed all your exams and you're still not considered a licensed real estate agent until you are sponsored by a brokerage. So I just wanted to make that clear. But in order to pick your brokerage, sometimes that can be a little daunting. I know when I was in real estate school, and that may happen at the real estate school that you attend, there would be people who come in to possibly recruit you. And they'll come in, they'll tell you about the brokerage, the culture, the this, the that, what they offer, all those different things, answer your questions, which is great because you get to see all different types of brokerages who are available in your area, around the school, just local, whatever the case might be. And it gives you some exposure, you get to know them a little bit, and then, you go home and you do your research. So one of the first things that I would say you need to consider is really what you want, because there are many different types of brokerages, but it really depends on your own little style. What kind of real estate agent are you trying to become? Do you want to be a shark in a shark tank that's just like, I'm gonna get it, I need to make $1 billion right now, it's not enough? There are brokerages like that. Then there's the brokerages that are like super tech savvy and you're just gonna get all the techie stuff. That's around too. And then there are the brokerages who are so sweet. Oh my gosh, they're like so sweet, so nice. And you just want to be there because they're so nice. Yeah, there's that too. There are lots of different types of brokerages that are available, and it really depends on the type that you're trying to get into. For me personally, I wasn't looking to get into something that was super sharky. I really wanted to be focused on relationship. People, relationship, I love people. That was just my jam. So it really depends on what works for you. So what I was describing there really is called the culture. It's just the way the brokerage flows and what they're offering as well. So you have to decide, do you want something that's more mom and pop, really intimate, smaller group setting that you're able to get to know everything and it's really like a family? Are you cool with the large brokerages that have huge names? Like in New York, we've got Corcoran, Douglas Elliman, Compass, Brown Harris Stevens. I mean, we've got and more. Okay, I'm just shooting off the top of my dome, but I'm just saying, you can get involved and affiliated with many different types and sizes of firms. I certainly recommend going in for an interview and just getting to know more about them, having them get to know more about you, even if you aren't able, or if your school doesn't offer those type of recruitment sessions, you can literally get to know them. Like, you can actually set up appointments. I know things are very different now with COVID and, you know, all of the protections that are set in place at these different firms, but you can still reach out and do your research so that you can get to know them a little bit better. And that's really helpful. I found that really helpful. I went on quite a few interviews to get to know where I really wanted to be. And I was intimidated by the big names at first. I really was. I was like, oh my gosh, Corcoran, oh my gosh. You know, I thought that it was going to be really scary, and it can be because they're very experienced. They're very well known. Like, the larger firms can be intimidating, but you got this. You know what I mean? Like, and if you have the connections and if you have some experience, even if you start at a smaller mom and pop shop and you're actually producing, then you can definitely try for you can try to get into the larger names, the big brands, if that's where you want to be. And the other thing I would recommend is checking out what kind of courses do they offer, like training. You need to continually have training, especially if you're a new agent. Training is key, okay? And aside from training, you know what? I take that back. Training is not key. It's something that I consider essential, but mentorship, that is key. For new agents who really are looking for the hand-holding, you need to ask about their mentorship programs and if they offer any. That can be vital for you. But if you are the type who doesn't really need the mentorship, doesn't need the hand-holding, and kind of can read and understand and YouTube video what you want to do, and you don't need to have that person by your side going through each deal with you in the beginning, then you can choose a different brokerage who doesn't necessarily offer that. So that's okay. It's definitely up to what works for you, as I said before. Certainly, when you are going to interview and getting to know a brokerage, you want to know their commission split. That's something that a lot of people want to know. But I wouldn't say to put all your hopes and dreams and everything, make your decision only on this commission split. No. Okay, because you could be getting 100% of your commission, but if your commission is zero, honey, 100% of zero is still zero. Okay, bada bing, bada boom. All right, so I just want to make that clear. I was completely willing to give up, like, mad of my commission just to learn, to grow. So for me, mentorship was vital. Vital, okay? For you, that might be different, and that's okay. But for me, I needed the mentorship, and so I was willing to give up my commission because the brokerage has their own split, but then when you're doing mentorship, there's an additional split, and I was willing to give that up in order to learn, because once you got it, then you don't need to do a whole bunch of splits, because once you get it, you're good, and then you can, you know, really take the ball and run, right? So that is not high on my list of priorities as far as the commission split, but that's something you should know for each brokerage that you are interviewing at or asking questions or whatever the case might be. You also need to ask what the brokerage's fees are, because there may be desk fees, telephone fees, all the different stationery and all types of stuff. Then there's membership fees, whether you're joining, well, in New York, REBNY or MLS or LIBOR. There are different fees for all the different listing services as well as the brokerages. So you need to just know all the fees, ask them everything up front, okay? I like to know all the numbers, what everything's gonna cost, how much are my headshots, how much are this, how much is that, all of it. I need to know what it all will cost per year. I mean, these numbers can flex a little bit, but you know, you need to definitely find out the fees. You also want to base your decision on location, because you have to figure out what works for you. If you want to commute or you want to go to a brokerage that specializes in a particular area or whatever the case might be, even if it's one of the larger franchise, big names that have franchise in different areas, you might want to check that out. Go where you want to do your business. Go where works best for you, easier commute, whatever the case might be. When COVID hit, I really stayed pretty local. I didn't really stay around my brokerage. So different situations change your location, but it's important to really decide what area do you want to be in. And you definitely got to ask about management support, because there are people who are paid on salary. They're not independent contractors. They're paid by salary in order to support you. Okay, they're here to help you. They work for you. Okay, so you want to know if a brokerage has that management support. If it's a more boutique brokerage, a smaller one, they may not have it set up like that, but you could possibly be working under the broker, right, himself, which is still really great. So it really depends on what's best for you. But yeah, there are management teams that are there to support you, especially in those larger brokerages with the big names. And lastly, from what I can recall and think about in terms of my experience, I would say you can ask about referrals and leads. Just what their system is for that, if they give out leads, whatever the case might be. Because really, when you are in real estate, your leads are going to come from many different places. And sometimes you're going to be paying for it, whatever program or website or whatever source you use. It really depends. Other times you can get leads from colleagues. You can get leads from management. I mean, it really depends. And a lot comes from word of mouth, referrals once you start, you know. So I hope this gave you a lot to consider. But these are the types of things that you're really going to want to think about and ask about when you are choosing a brokerage. And then you're going in for these interviews, and the hope is that they like you and you like them, so that you guys have a win-win situation coming your way. So I'm wishing you all the best. Do your thing. If you have any other questions, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye!